Hey guys, how's it going? It's Melissa here. This video is a kind of video response, even though they're completely dead and gone, to Sammy Paul's My Top 10 Films of 2016 on his channel What I'm Doing Now, which I will link down below. They might not have been released in the UK in 2016, but their first release somewhere in the world was 2016. So let's jump right in. At number 10 on my list of top 10 films of 2016 is Captain America Civil War. Captain America Civil War is the third film in the Captain America series. It is about Captain America and his friends, the other half of the Avengers, and Bucky fighting the other half of the Avengers, many halves of the Avengers. Words. About the accords which they want every superpowered individual to sign so the government can keep track of them. Captain America is against this, Iron Man is for this. Fight. I really enjoyed this because it was just a very fun thing to watch. When I was there, I couldn't help but analyse little bits of it. Last year at college, I analysed a scene from The Winter Soldier for my coursework. So, you know the one on the bridge? Yeah, that one. And when Bucky first appears in Civil War, they use the music they used when he first appeared in The Winter Soldier, and I just really enjoyed that. Like, little things like that just make things fun. At number 9 on my list is Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. Rogue One is a standalone story about how the rebels got the plans to the Death Star. Now, I knew what was going to happen at the end through a mix of common sense and spoilers, but it still managed to drag me along for an emotional roller coaster, which I didn't fully expect. Because I was rooting for them, didn't want the ending to happen, but I knew it was going to, and I almost cried, but almost. We'll get to the films that make me cry later on. Also, it was very pretty to look at. Very pretty to look at, and to listen to. Very pretty. At number 8 on my list is A Monster Calls. Now, A Monster Calls is a very simple story, but done in a very beautiful way. The basis of the story is a little boy's mother is dying of cancer, but then a monster arrives at the same time every night, and the monster tells him 3 stories, and in return, the little boy has to tell him one truth, and if not, he dies. The stories that the monster tells are shown on screen in this watercolour style, that they're almost painted onto the screen in black and grey and on a white background, and it was just so visually stunning. The music really draws you into it, and I went to see this with a big group of people. I was one of the only people who didn't cry, but the only reason I didn't cry was because it's such a slow sad. Like, you'll see the kind of film that I cry in is where it's really suddenly sad. Also, the way they approach live action scenes is very realistic. They really show the difficulties this boy faces in his everyday life, but how it all stems back to that initial issue. Also, Liam Neeson as a tree is just really great. At number 7 on my list is Denial. Now, Denial is based on a true story of a court case that happened around 2000 of this male historian who is a Holocaust denier, and this female Jewish historian who calls him out in a book, and he sues her in Britain for libel, and the reason he does it in Britain is because that means she has to prove what she said was right. So the whole story is about how do we prove that. What drew me to this film was, again, like, even though I knew the ending because it's a true story, I still felt a lot for this film. Like, every step of the way I was rooting for her, and I hated him. Like, it makes you physically hate that guy. Like, I couldn't stop my face from moving in the cinema because it was just reactions. Like, there was one bit where I was just like this because a really great moment happened in a cinema by myself. It was that kind of film where I just couldn't hold in my reactions because it was just such a great story. I also really like some of the small things, like how they showed the press's reaction through her jogging route, where she would run past the newsagents and they'd have the board outside to show how the case was going. That also helped to show her the disruption to her life that this has caused, as she had to come from America, and it showed the differences in her routine every day. And that was something that, again, it shows that human side of the court case, and I think that's why this film was made, also because it's a very interesting court case. Like, who denies the Holocaust? At number 6 on my list is Hunt for the Wilder People. Now, I hadn't seen anything by this director before, but I saw it very heavily recommended by both people on Twitter and people I knew in real life. I got told a lot that I had to watch this film, so I did, and I liked it a lot, as it's number 6. Hunt for the Wilder People is the story about a foster kid and his foster family, where the mother of the foster family dies, and the dad didn't really want, not the dad, the uncle, Hector, didn't really want the foster kid in the first place, but they have to hide out in the bush, and then they're wanted for crimes, and shit happens, shit goes down. In this film, it was so visually stunning, and the editing as well, like, you know, the scenes where it would go around and it would show time passing, but with multiple thems of different times, that, I loved that. And the music as well, I found myself kind of like dancing along to it whilst I was watching it. It was just the story as well, it found me rooting for these two people to never be caught, to live in the wilderness forever. I really liked the colours as well. I know the colours and the vibrancy of the bush and the sky and the mountains and their clothes as well. Well, the boy, Brian, I want to say Brian. His clothes were very bright. Hector's wasn't, which kind of showed his personality. And here we are into the top 5. I almost showed 10 fingers, well done me. Number 5 on my list is Arrival. Now, I loved Arrival, and I thought it would be much higher on my list when I saw it originally. Arrival is the story of these ominous alien ships coming to Earth, and Amy Adams' character, Louise Banks, I'm gonna say. I'm bad at names. The linguist who is tasked with decoding the alien language. God, it made you think. It's the kind of film where you think you know what's going on for half the time, and you're not sure about that other half, but in the last 20 minutes, that half you thought you knew was proven wrong, and it explains everything. I love that. Like, I was walking home from the cinema, still thinking, you know, just trying to figure out the story. I love films that make you think. Love it. And also the special effects, especially like the alien language with the circles, it was so beautiful. The editing, especially in scenes later on with the phone call and with the flashbacks, was just so amazing that I loved it. Number 4 on my list is the film Patterson. Patterson is the story of a bus driver played by Adam Driver called Patterson in the town of Patterson, and about the monotony of his life. It was a very pretty film to look at, even though it was about monotony. I liked how they showed his routine every day and how he wrote poetry. I liked how they showed the monotony of his everyday life, but also how it was broken. For instance, the bar with the guy with the gun, or the girl who writes poetry, it gets stuck in his head. I also appreciate the visual jokes, such as the twins appearing everywhere, because it gave you some laughs. There were good jokes in this film. It definitely had a good sense of humour. Visually, it has a very nice colour. I noticed like the wife's art often used black and white, and she was all about black and white, which are often quite monotonous colours, but the things she did with the black and white were very monotonous. They were crazy and wild and brilliant, which I guess could have been a metaphor for his life. Number 3 on my list is the film Your Name. Now, Your Name is a Japanese anime about 2 teenagers who keep swapping bodies, so they decide to try and figure out who the other one is and help them in their day-to-day life. And it was a beautiful film, and this is one of the films I did cry at for about the last 20 minutes and also about 50 minutes after the film was over, because I was just an emotional wreck by the end of it, because it was such a happy film. It was cute and it was just romantic and lovely, and then sudden sad. Like, oh my goodness. It's a very open-ended film. Visually, this film was beautiful, like absolutely beautiful. The girl of the two lives up in this mountain community, and honestly, just the mountains and the lake, it was stunning. absolutely stunning. I could cry at this film, as I've mentioned, because the storytelling was amazing, like absolutely amazing. This is one film that I definitely thought would have been higher. I would have put it at the top spot before the next two. Okay, and number three, number two, and number one were very close, but number two and number one were even closer than number three. And number two is La La Land. How could La La Land not be in this list? La La Land is the story of a failing jazz musician and a failing actress finding each other and trying to find themselves in their career. And it's a musical. What's not to love? It was visually stunning. The editing, there was a lot of hidden editing because Damien Chazelle and these long shots, long sweeping shots, to be reminiscent of the original Hollywood films. And the music was amazing. I've been listening to the soundtrack a lot since I've seen this film, and it's been on the brain. La La Land has been on the brain. Very colourful as well. And now, number one on the list is a very cynical film. It's cynical, but it's also a very realistic film. It is The Unknown Girl. Now, The Unknown Girl is a Belgian film. It's entirely in French. It is about a doctor trying to figure out the identity of a girl who died in her practice that knocked on her door that night. One thing I really liked about The Unknown Girl is I came away thinking about style and what style of filmmaking I would like to get into. It was the most realistic style of filmmaking I have ever seen. One thing that I really liked was that there was no music whatsoever, not even the titles. The ending credits and the starting credits were just the sound of the cars going past her window. The story itself is also quite a realistic one. It's about human curiosity and what if I had done this. Also, there was no like fancy cinematic filter over it. The colours were quite grey, quite dull, which matches the tone of the film. The editing, again, it wasn't very visible editing. There were a lot of match-on actions and shot reverse shots because realism. And I liked that the big climax of the film wasn't actually that climactic. It was how it would have been in real life, an understated moment. Like, it wasn't this big thing with the music rising and the camera like zooming or panning along. It was just that. This is the bit of information you've been looking for. Time to get on with the rest of your life. And that to me was a very interesting way, so much so that it has played on my mind the entire time since I've seen it, and I definitely want to see it again. And that is why The Unknown Girl is number one on my list. And that is my top 10 films of 2016. Feel free to leave your top 10 films in the comments below, or even do what I'm doing now, which is dead, and do a video